everyone, welcome to MTG Gorillas, and today we're going to go over the new 2021 Challenger decks in a short video. And it's basically a review of all four of the new Challenger decks that just got revealed yesterday, February 12th. Today's the 13th, and today we're just going to go over the deck list and talk about the ups and downs of each one, talk about which one's the best, stuff like that. We're going to start off with the Azorius control deck. So we see here that the deck has 14 enchantments and 6 creatures, 14 instants and sorceries in total. So the 6 creatures, Skyclave Cleric. It's a 2-mana 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Dream Trawler, so everyone knows what Dream Trawler is. It's the ultimate control creature. And it helps you draw cards. It would be prone to removal if it didn't have the discard ability down there. We see that whenever you discard a card, you can give it hexproof and tap it, which will be in handy a lot of the times. And Archon of Sun's Grace. This card's good because it gives you more creatures and on just one creature card. It can give you more 2/2 white Pegasus creature tokens. It gives you one whenever you play an enchantment. So I think that if you were to upgrade, you could take out the Skyclave Clerics and put in more of these or more of these, because the Skyclave Cleric is a little out of place here. Not really a control card, just gains you a bit of life. So I'm just going to go over some things that we do like seeing here, like Doomskar. Foretell 3, it's a 5-mana sorcery, destroy all creatures. Foretell's a new mechanic, and I think it's really going to work in this control deck here. We see that we also have a Miria's Call, which is not the best card. It's a double-sided card, so yeah, I can get you the land on the other side, but it's not the best card. 2 4/4s with flying. It's 7 mana, pretty expensive. I think there's better things you can play on turn 7. Speaking of which, the turn before you can play Shark Typhoon, which would go really well with the deck. Which goes really well with the deck. I mean, if you add all of the non-creature spells, you have 14 plus 14. You have 30, including the artifacts here. You have 30 non-creature spells, including Shark Typhoon. So you're going to be drawing into a lot of non-creature spells. You're going to be creating a lot of sharks. For this deck, I recommend not doing the cycling ability for Shark Typhoon unless it's necessary. And then we have some other enchantments that are kind of just like normal, not that good. Omen of the Sea, not really a good card, but I can see why it's included here. Elspeth Conquers Death, it's one of those better enchantments from these. Some counter spells, including Saw It Coming. They should have taken out some neutralizers to put in more Saw It Comings. Negates are great. Thirst for Meeting's okay, especially since we have a lot of enchantments. Behold the Mercyverse, not very good, but it's okay. The Dimir Rogue deck. So this is a new deck type that we haven't really seen in Challenger decks past. We've seen a control deck before in Second Sun Control back in 2018, but here, this is a new type of deck, the Dimir Rogues, and let's just get into the deck list. We have 1 Rankle, Master of Pranks included, which is really good. We have 4 Thieves Guild Enforcer, which is going to help mill a lot of creatures. Nighthawk Scavenger's okay, but the biggest thing that I like seeing in this deck is Zereth San, the Trickster. It goes really well with the it goes really well with these all these small creatures that you're playing here, which are really just not going to do much damage. So your opponent's a lot of times going to take it. You can use Zereth San's ability to attack with a 4/4 flash instead. But the second ability is also good because you can take something from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield. And this deck has I think it has a bigger theme of mill than it has of rogues, actually. We have Thieves Guild Enforcer milling, Vantress Gorgile milling, Nighthawk Scavenger benefiting from mill. We have this Merfolk Windrobber Milling, and Soaring Thought Thief. The lands are okay. It's nice that they included 4 of the Scry lands. We have some removal, and Drown in the Lodge is a really good card that we see included here. It's really good with the deck. Okay, Mono Red Aggro. It's really similar to the one we had last year, but we have some things added like Akoum Hellhound, Anax, Hardened in the Forge, and Spikefield Hazard. We still see an Embercleave, and we have 1 less copy of Torbrand, Thane of Red Fell. We still have Bonecrusher Giant and Fervent Champion. But but there are some things removed, like the Chandra and the Runaway Steamkin. We also see a new Kargan Intimidator here, which is a great addition. I do not like the Akoum Hellhound in here, though, because you have no way of ramping in this deck. So the biggest Akoum Hellhound's ever going to get is a 2/3. That's not even that big. Plus, you're not even going to play land every turn in this red deck. You barely have any lands. Or you have a small amount of lands. I guess this does count as a land, but those end your tap. You're not going to be playing that much. Shadow Skull Smashing is okay, but like I said, you're not going to have that much mana, so we don't like seeing X cards in these kind of decks. Royal Eruption, better. It's a better version of Lightning Strike. I think it's great that they included that. And there's nothing really to this deck that's too confusing. It's another red deck wins deck, so I think we can move on to the mono green deck, which is the most surprising deck that they came out with this year. It was really unsurprising to get a mono green Stompy deck. We've never seen that in Challenger decks before, just like the Rogue is a new one. But we have another control deck. We have another red deck wins deck. This green deck, the thing with this green deck is that it doesn't have many high converted mana cost creatures. The biggest converted mana cost of the creature is Gemrazor at 4, actually. We have Stonecoil Serpent, which can be cast for a lot of mana, but we only have 2 copies of that. We don't really have that many big creatures in here in terms of converted mana cost. Of course, Yorvo is going to get really big. Lovestruck Beast starts off pretty big. Gemrazor is nice. And we have Stonecoil Serpent. And we also have Turntimber Symbiosis. This card shouldn't be included in here, though, because none of these creatures are very big in terms of converted mana cost. So you're really only gonna get something with converted mana cost 3 or less, and then what's gonna happen is that you just get 3/1/1 counters on a Scavenging Ooze. That's not worth the Turntimber Symbiosis. They should have taken these out. Another thing, though, is that they didn't include any ramp in here whatsoever. Eldraine is still legal, right? So they could have included they could have included better stuff in here than these sorceries, these instances. There's no ramp in this deck. So like I said, with the red deck, the landfall is not going to actually really do anything. It's just going to be a 5/5 at most. You're never going to play multiple lands in one turn. So this deck needs a lot of upgrading. It has no ramp, and it's a stompy deck. This deck needs way more ramp. Garruk Unleashed is a nice card in there, but overall it needs more ramp. So overall, the Rogue deck has the most potential because of how it mills so well. It mills with pretty much all its creatures, and then it has these instants that benefit from the mill. So I think the Rogue deck is going to be really good this year. The red deck's going to be as good as normal. It's not going to be better than better than previous red decks we've seen before. The Azorius deck isn't that good either, but I think it's better than the one we had in 2018, which was probably the worst Challenger deck we got in 2018. So this is a bit better, but it's still not going to be very good. Overall, the red deck was pretty disappointing in that there was nothing new from last year. Instead of it being a Cavalcade deck, now it's just aggro. And the control deck's just a control deck. The green deck was surprising, but not enough ramp. So these decks are okay, but they're not gonna blow us away or anything. Anyway, I hope you had a good idea of what these deck lists are and what you might expect to see in these. And just a quick note: they're changing the packaging on these Challenger decks, so you're not going to get the normal Challenger decks. They're not going to be long boxes. They're just going to be these small boxes here. Anyway, bye.